Hello, welcome everyone. Good morning. I'm Carolyn, your host for this week's weekly mini. We're just going to get things all ready to roll here. It's an exciting topic, so I can't wait to roll this one out this morning. I am Carolyn, your host, as I mentioned. Welcome to Weekly Minis, your bite-sized workshop on the hottest acro topics. You can reference all of our previous weekly minis and more amazing content on our Acrobatic Arts channel on YouTube. If you have any questions while we're live, drop them in the comments and we'll do our best to answer those for you at the end of the presentation. If you know someone who would benefit from hearing about today's topic, please be a friend and click the share button right now on this post and let them know that we're here. Today, we're pleased to bring you Acrobatic Arts master teacher Leah Holliday with how to spot side aerials. Her most recent presentation, 3 heli progressions, was very popular, and I trust that this one will be the same. Leah has been teaching acro and dance for over 25 years. She was born and raised in Regina, Saskatchewan, and studied dance and baton twirling at the Martin School of Dance. Not only was she well known as an accomplished dancer, but she represented Canada in baton twirling at numerous, I think the number is 10, world championships as a soloist and team member. Leah has been with Acrobatic Arts for 4 years. She is a course conductor and examiner. Leah teaches dance and acro at the Dance Tech in High River, and she teaches master classes at the Alberta Ballet for Acrobatic Arts. Leah, we are so thrilled to have you. Welcome. I'm not going to hold you back any. I'm going to let you just take it right away.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Carolyn, for that intro. I really appreciate it. And welcome everyone today to the weekly mini. Today we are talking about spotting the side aerial. Okay, and I have my wonderful dancer here today, Sawyer Gatto. Sawyer has been dancing since pretty much 4 years old, and she's built her levels through the Acrobatic Arts syllabus. She does acro, ballet, jazz, and lyrical and contemporary. So she's here to help us out today with the aerial spotting. Before we start talking about the spotting of the side aerial, we want to talk about the requirements before we actually get into spotting the side aerial. As teachers, you want your dancers to have the capabilities, once we begin side aerials, of all the different progressions to make sure that they are ready and capable to do this skill proficiently. By the time you get to spotting the side aerial, your dancer should almost be marginally capable of doing this skill. Okay, so we're going to walk through the different progressions, and then we're going to talk about the different ways to spot. Okay, so we'll talk about spotting the cartwheel, the one-handed cartwheel, the far-handed cartwheel, and then the side aerial, just so that you have all the background knowledge you need to move forward with spotting the side aerial proficiently and confidently with your dancers. So the progressions we start with. First, we start with the cartwheel. So your dancer should be able to do all 8 types of cartwheels. So there's 8 types. Sawyer's going to demonstrate them as I say them. So the first one is the cartwheel with 2 hands. So away you go, Sawyer. So just regular cartwheel, 2 hands, proper entry, proper exit on both sides. And then the other side, away you go and go. There we are. So that's the two-handed regular cartwheel. Then we want the one-hand close hand cartwheel. So that refers to the hand as the toe pointed. So she's going to start with her arms forward, and the hand of the toe, the pointed toe, is going to go on the floor. The other hand's going to have a nice solid swing back. Away you go, Sawyer. Do both sides. So that's one side and finish, and the other side starting again, close hand cartwheel. So that's the second version, but that's 2 sides. Okay, and now the far hand cartwheel. So that refers to the hand that's away from the toe or opposite of the toe. So she's going to start with her tendu with her arms forward and hand down, that nice solid swing, and go and finish. Good. And then the other side, tendu and swing. So that takes us through the 6 cartwheels. So right, left, two-handed, right, left, one hand close hand, right, left, one hand far hand. And the final one is a nice solid flying cartwheel. So Sawyer's going to start in tendu with her arms above her head, and she's going to show us a nice solid flying cartwheel on both sides. And away you go. Swing and finish. Good. And then the other side, start with your toe pointed and go. Swing and finish. Very nice. So once they're proficient, and you can see with Sawyer, she has nice height, a really good arm swing. Once they're at this level, we're ready to spot the side aerial. Okay, so we need to have all of those things. Now remember, the reason why we spot the side aerial is not to lift and haul our dancer over. It's not to just to allow them to do it, if that makes sense. So it's more about helping them with technique, working on their arm swing, getting a really solid back leg kick, and then helping build their confidence. Because sometimes they just get in that brain glitchy space where they can do it. They're there. And you as a teacher going like, you can do it, you can do it. But they just need that extra little assistance and confidence building to get over in that side aerial. That's why we're spotting. We're not spotting them to lift and haul them over. You could injure yourself or your dancer if that's why you're doing that. So those progressions, I can't emphasize enough how important it is to do those. Okay. So Sawyer's going to walk through just the arm swings and for the side aerial because these are also important. So Sawyer, just start in a lunge facing the front. Perfect. So just the different things that you need your dancer to have to be able to do before you start spotting it. So swinging those arms back is the first thing. So nice solid arm swing, swing, good. Swinging those arms back. Now they need that swing and taking their head down as well. So swing and drive that head down on the inside of the leg. Now you can see that her ear is on the inside of her knee, not smashing her face on her knee. So one more time, Sawyer, swing, good. And the next piece is having a really good solid kick. So Sawyer's just going to swing down, put her hands on the floor and kick her leg behind with power. So no arm circle, Sawyer, just swing, kick and go, kick. Right. So you see how that leg is driving up fast and go swing, kick. Good. And then the final one is the swing with the arm circle, hands on the ground and kick. Swing and kick. Good. So all of those things are very, very important when we're dealing with the side aerial, and they're also going to be helpful for you as a teacher when you start spotting. But now we get to the spotting piece. So Sawyer and I are going to show you the various ways to spot because hand placement is very, very important. So if you've taken our module 1 through acrobatic arts, you've learned how to spot the cartwheel. And this saying is hip, hip, hooray. So Sawyer's going to start in tendu. Now, when I'm saying hip, hip, hooray, I'm talking about my hand placement. So my hands are going to be in a C-like grip at her hips or her pelvis level. So wrapped around, my thumbs on one side, my fingers on the other. So she starts in tendu. I am, as a teacher, remember when we're spotting, we always want to be nice and close to the dancer. So I'm going to have Sawyer turn to the side for a second. Point your toe. Now I'm not standing like this, way far away. I'm going to injure myself and I'm probably not going to be able to support her adequately. So my elbows are nice and close to my body. And that's always a rule of thumb when we're spotting, is to be nice and close to the dancers that have good continuity and strength to assist her. Okay. So now my knees are going to be bent. My back is nice and straight. My elbows are in. Remember the hip, hip, hooray. So when she starts in tendu, my hands are going to catch her hips. So the first hip comes into my first hand, hip, hip, hooray. Good. And we'll go back the other way. And again, hip, hip, hooray. Good. Once you have that, your dancer's already mastered. We're working towards a side aerial. So this should already be proficient, but the hand placement is really important. The other one you want to make sure your dancer is capable of doing and that you're capable of spotting is the one hand close hand cartwheel. So this is exactly the same as the hip, hip, hooray for the two-handed cartwheel. And that arm is going to swing back really strong, and it's just going to rotate with the dancer. So you don't have to worry about getting in the way. Elbows nice and close. I'm ready. And go. Hip, hip, hooray. Good. And coming back the other way. And tendu. Swing hard. Hip, hip, hooray. Good. And then the next one you want to be able to spot, and your dancer should also be proficient at, is the one hand far hand cartwheel. Now remember that refers to the hand that's away from the body. So always remind your dancer of what hand's going on the floor. And they're also going to bend forward and look under their armpit. So if they get confused about that, they need to be able to do that. Okay. Now in this case, I'm going to hold her hand. And what I'm helping with is the strong swing. And my second hand is going to catch her hip. So ready, go. Swing, hip, and over. Good. And we're going to go the other way. So this hand's going on the floor, Sawyer. I'm swinging this hand. This hand's ready for the hip. Swing, hip, up and over. Good. Once they get proficient at that, you should no longer need to help them with the hip. They should be able to do it with just a swing and go swing, up. And that's just to help with the rotation and the momentum. One more time. And swing, up. Very nice. Good. So once your dancer is capable of doing all of those cartwheels, we're heading into our side aerial spotting. So the way we always start this is with the chassé step hop first. This is so that you as a teacher know where your dancer is going to be when they do this side aerial. Okay, so Sawyer and I are going to start with the chassé step hop. Ready, Sawyer? Go. So I just have her do this a couple times. Step, hop. Well, you can see, and she shouldn't stop in front of me. She should stop wherever she wants. So you can see that I was in line with her when she went to go do her cartwheel. I would now know I need to move over. So now I'll move over. Sawyer's going to go back. She's going to do chassé step hop again. I'm just going to make sure that we're in the right spot. And away you go. Chassé step hop. Good. So I'm in the right spot. Now, as the teacher, your next move is to put your hand in when they do that nice big hop and their arms are in the air. That's when your hand goes in. So go chassé, step, hand. So Sawyer's not going to do a cartwheel yet. She's just going to show us chassé, step, hop. And for me, that's to help me with timing to make sure my hand goes in at the right time. Away you go. Chassé, step, hop. Do you see that? How that arm goes in? Let's go from the other side this time, Sawyer. So she's going to do the same thing. And just do your chassé, step, hop, and go. Chassé, step, hop. My hand goes in. Good. Now remember, our dancers are not robots. So there's going to be a deviation in movement. So as a teacher, I call it the football move. You need to be on your toes. So you don't want to be standing back lax and just assume that they will end up in that space. You want to be ready to move with your dancer. Every once in a while, they chassé a little bit further. So once you've got the timing of the chassé, step, hop, and your hand goes in, we're now ready to do the cartwheel. I would start with a two-handed cartwheel first, just to make sure that you and your dancer are both ready for this. So we're just going to practice doing chassé, step, hop, and she's going to do a two-handed cartwheel. My hand goes in. Now, remember, when we're spotting side aerial, we're not using a C grip anymore. Our arm goes in first. It's helping to rotate over. And the second hand is to help them balance as they come up. It is still a hip hooray because you're still in the hip zone, but you're not going to grab them like this anymore. Your arm goes in and they're going to rotate over your forearm, and your second hand is grabbing their hip to help support them as they stand up. So they're not just doing a flip and drop. Okay, so just a two-handed cartwheel, Sawyer, chassé, step, hop. So we're practicing with the cartwheel hand and the hand over. And away you go. Chassé, step, hop, cartwheel. Good. So you can see how my hand is through and she's cartwheeling over my forearm. Let's try it from the other side. And this is a good practice tool. And this is just, you don't tell your dancer that you're practicing for spacing or practicing for the side aerial. You're telling your dancer that we're getting ready to do this. I want to make sure I'm ready to support you. And away you go. Chassé, step, hop, and over. Good. Now we're ready to actually spot the side aerial. So Sawyer is going to go ahead and I'm going to do this. You're going to see how my hand comes in. She's going over my forearm. My forearm is just doing another lift and over and finish. Are you ready, Sawyer? Away we go. Chassé, step, hop, cartwheel, and finish. And you can see how I had to do a little shuffle to the side to get in space with Sawyer. Let's try it from the other side. So again, my arm goes in on her hip. She's rotating over my forearm and finish. Away you go. Chassé, step, hop, over, and finish. Good. Now, once you have that mask, or if you're working on your hand placement a little bit, you can come into the center and we can do this from standing. So Sawyer's going to start with her arms up nice and high. I can already get my hand in here. So I'm already in a place to spot her, and you can see my hand comes across her belly. As she rotates, she's going to go through the air. Spotting from standing is sometimes easier to wrap your head around where your hand placement needs to be. But again, that side aerial or that flying cartwheel needs to be extremely proficient for you to be able to do it from standing. If they don't have the power to get up and over, you're going to be doing a lot of lifting and hauling. So here we go, Sawyer. Arms through and swing, over, and finish. And you can see I finish with my hands on her body for safety. So she's not flipping over and just landing on her own. I'm not expecting her to land her own yet. I'm supporting her all the way through so she's not falling on her exit. Let's try it on the other side. Again, my hand goes in across the belly at the hip level and go. Swing, over, and finish. Good. And once they have that, Sawyer, go ahead. You can do a chassé step aerial. You should no longer have to spot, and your dancer should have this side aerial. Away you go. Chassé, step, hop, aerial, and finish. Good. So again, just to review the reasons why we spot that is for safety and confidence building, but your dancer should already be proficient in all 8 cartwheels, two-handed on both sides, one-handed same hand or close hand on both sides, one hand opposite hand or far hand on both sides, and flying cartwheel on both sides. And again, we're spotting to assist the dancer in building that confidence and safety, not just to haul them over. Do we have any questions, Carolyn? I think we've covered all of it.
Wow, awesome job, Sawyer. Great demonstrating again. Love having you on. And Miss Leah, that was amazing. I think it's just that thing that we keep hearing, but we keep needing to remind ourselves, I think, for our teachers and our community, when it comes to spotting, it's a hot topic. There's a lot of people watching today that spotting is something that is used after and with all the progressions, right? So you showed us how to spot everything up until that point, but by the time, if they're following the progressions properly, safely, and they're strong enough and flexible enough for those progressed moves, by the time they get to them, and you said this at the beginning, they really should need, and am I correct in this? They should really need minimal spotting.
Yes, that's exactly correct. Once that flying cartwheel is just sweeping their fingers across the ground, it's more about confidence building and just helping them. Sometimes it's the arm swing that they're struggling with. And so you want them to really focus on their arm swings. And that's why you're spotting. Or sometimes it's that back leg kick and helping them to build that confidence that they can do all those pieces at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's just such a good thing to remember, that if you're really struggling with spotting someone, a student, it's like taking it back to the basics, to the progression before that, or building strength with all the drills that come, which we have in all of our resources, Acro Dance Resource Center, YouTube, weekly minis. It's all there for our teachers and our training, but we'll get to that. So just a couple comments I'm going to read through as we look for any questions that might be there. Mary, welcome, Mary. She says she's glad to be here. Miss Mandy from headquarters says hip hip hooray. I love that cue. Great way to remember that for cartwheels and how you go forward. Bella Reed says you make it look so easy. Thank you for the weekly mini. And we'll just leave it open for just a second more if there's any other questions. It is true. Now, what if people want more? Like, obviously, like there's our module 1 courses to learn the basics of spotting, but are there other opportunities for teachers to expand their horizons with aerials?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So after you've completed your module 1, we do have an aerial and back handspring course that Acrobatic Arts offers that is absolutely amazing and highly required before you can take your module 2. So if you've already certified module 1 and you want to move on to module 2, make sure you take that aerial back handspring course. It is required and it's offered usually after module 1. There's also a live aerial progressions that Acrobatic Arts offers live and online, which is really convenient for people to get some more information. You could also refer to our Acro Dance Resource Center. I could go on forever, Ms.
I know.
I'm like, what's just carrying on. Acro Dance Resource Center. So as a certified teacher or not, you can purchase this as subscription, and it has a million pictures and videos and progressions and how to spot on that Acro Dance Resource Center. So there's a lot of really valuable information. I use it every day in my teaching practice. So yeah.
Absolutely. So I guess the point is, this is a great starting point for many, but there are other resources. And if you have any questions, you can find out more at acrobaticarts.com. I just put in a link for our aerial workshop. It is the one that Leah mentioned that is online. It's I think it's an hour and a half or 2 hours, just tons and tons of resources. But if you are able to take that live and in-person aerial and back handspring workshop, you get to spend like 4 hours just going through the basics and the progressions of those 2 skills, and it's very powerful. Get to work in person with our experts here at Acrobatic Arts. We don't have any other questions, but lots and lots of lovely comments and encouragement for both you, Leah, and Sawyer. Thank you both again for being here. Do you want to take a bow, Sawyer?
Sawyer, take a bow. Yeah, she works really hard. She's a great little demonstrator. We work really well together, don't we, Sawyer? Yeah.
We're thrilled to have you both here again. Thank you again, Leah and Sawyer, and thank you, teachers, for joining us for this weekly mini. Join us next week when we present a chat with Cheryl Crawford from our UK division and her student Megan McCullough about the assistant teacher certification. Also, teachers, if you're interested in expanding your studio student population and enhancing dancer results, skills, and potential, visit acrobaticarts.com. We are in the midst of our North American summer tour. It is on now. Things are selling out and they're selling fast. People are on the move before next season. The dance season begins. You don't want to miss out. I know you want to be a part of that. So find out more on our website. We'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.